We live in an era that tells men to be an open book. They tell you that vulnerability is the ultimate strength. Tell her your fears, they say. Cry on her shoulder. Share every doubt. And men listen. They open the floodgates. They pour their heart out. And what happens? The relationship collapses. Her attraction fades. She says, "I just don't see you as the man I thought you were." Gentlemen, there is a fine line between intimacy and weakness. Evolutionary psychology dictates that women do not want another girlfriend. They want a man. They want a rock, a protector, a leader. And a rock cannot afford to show every crack in its foundation. Today, I am going to reveal the 5 things you must always hide from a woman. This is not about deception. It is not about lying. It is about wisdom. It is about maintaining the frame of strength and stability that she biologically craves. If you reveal these 5 things, you lose respect. And where there is no respect, there is no love. Thing number 1 is the most controversial in today's modern society. Hide your deepest insecurities. Now, I know what the comments will say, but isn't a relationship about being open? Don't you want to be real with your partner? Let me clarify. You can be real without being weak. There is a biological imperative at play here that goes back 200,000 years. The role of the masculine is protection. And I don't just mean physical protection from wolves or intruders. I mean emotional containment. A woman's emotional world is often oceanic. It is vast. It is changing, and she experiences the world with high emotional volatility. She looks to you to be the stable ground. She subconsciously asks every single day, "Is he solid? Can he hold me when I fall apart?" If you dump your insecurities on her, "I feel ugly. I'm terrified I'm going to get fired. I feel like a fraud." You are poking holes in the bucket that is supposed to hold the water. You are forcing her to become the masculine container. You are asking her to comfort you. In that moment, a switch flips in her brain. She stops seeing you as her protector and starts seeing you as her project, or worse, her child. And women are not sexually attracted to their children. Does this mean you bottle it up until you have a heart attack? No, that kills men. But you take those fears to your brothers. You take them to your fathers. You take them to God. You take them to a therapist. You process the weakness backstage. When you step onto the stage with your woman, you present the processed strength. Here is the difference. Weakness says, "Honey, I'm scared we won't pay rent. I don't know what to do. I'm panicking." This creates chaos. Leadership says, "Money is tight right now, but I have a strategy. I'm executing it, and we are going to be fine." This creates trust. She doesn't need to know the terror you felt at 3 a.m. She needs to know the plan you made at 8 a.m. Be the leader. Thing number 2, hide your talk. The art of silent execution. We live in a culture of cheap dopamine. When you have a big goal, getting ripped, starting a business, writing a book, and you tell your girlfriend about it, your brain releases dopamine as if you already achieved it. This is called a premature celebration. It creates a false sense of accomplishment that actually makes you lazier. But worse than making you lazy, it lowers your perceived value. If you are always talking about what you are gonna do, but she sees you sitting on the couch eating chips, you become a liar in her eyes. You become all talk, no action. Women are incredibly perceptive to congruence. If your words say, "I am a king," but your actions say, "I am mediocre," her attraction dies. She loses faith in your word. There is immense power in mystery. Imagine this scenario. You decide to get in shape. You tell her nothing. You just disappear for 90 minutes every morning. She asks where you go. You just say, "Training." 3 months later, you take your shirt off at the beach and you have abs. That is 10 times sexier than telling her you're on a diet every day for 3 months. Imagine you work silently on your laptop every night. She asks what you're doing. You say, "Just work." Then one day you take her to a luxury dinner and slide a key across the table. The business hit its first milestone. I bought us a new place. Shock, awe, respect. Results act as a force multiplier for attraction. Promises act as a debt. Don't go into debt with your woman. Pay in cash with results. Thing number 3. Hide your need for her validation. This is the subtle killer of long-term relationships. Most men accidentally hand over the remote control of their self-worth to their partner. If she's happy, he feels like a man. If she's moody, he feels like a failure. If you constantly ask, "Do I look okay? Do you think I'm smart? Why aren't you affectionate today? Are you mad?" You are signaling external locus of control. You are signaling that you do not know your own value. You are a stock waiting for the market, her, to tell you your price. If you don't know you're the prize, why should she believe you are? A king does not ask his subjects if he is a king. He knows. You must hide the part of you that craves her applause. You must develop self-sourced confidence. When you get dressed, look in the mirror and decide you look good. When you accomplish a task, high-five yourself. When you lead the date, assume it's going well because you are enjoying it. When you stop fishing for compliments, something magical happens. She starts giving them to you. Why? Because she senses that you don't need them. She senses that you are an immovable object. Her validation becomes a nice-to-have, not a need-to-have. And paradoxically, women flood the man with love who proves he is strong enough to survive without it. Thing number 4. Hide the details of your past weakness. I am talking about the cringe moments, the beta moments, the time you stalked an ex because you were heartbroken, the time you let a boss humiliate you and didn't fight back. There is a modern trend where men think, if I tell her how pathetic I used to be, she will appreciate how strong I am now. Be careful. Women operate on hypergamy. They want the best possible genetic and social partner. If you paint a vivid picture of yourself as a loser, even in the past, you plant a seed of doubt. She thinks, is that guy still in there? Is this confidence just a mask? When the pressure hits, will the loser come back? You become character evidence against yourself. You can admit you had struggles. I used to be out of shape. I used to be broke. But do not dwell on the emotion of the defeat. Dwell on the glory of the comeback. Frame your past as the origin story of a hero, not the confession of a victim. Show her the resurrected king. Let her believe that you were always destined for greatness, even when you were down. Preserve the mystique of your competence. If she sees you as a winner today, do not work hard to convince her you were once a loser. Let her view you in the best possible light. That belief will actually help you stay in your king energy. And finally, the most critical point. Hide your total obsession. This relies on the scarcity principle. In economics, when supply is infinite, value is zero. If your attention is infinite, if you are always available, always texting back instantly, always staring at her like a lost puppy, your value drops. Even if you love her more than life itself, even if you think she is the only woman in the world for you, you must maintain a degree of independence. Do not make her your entire world. Make her the star in your galaxy, but you are the sun. When you put a woman on a pedestal, she has no choice but to look down on you. She cannot respect a man she has total control over. She needs to feel that you have a mission, a purpose. She needs to feel that if she crossed a line, if she disrespected you, you would have the self-respect to walk away. That subtle fear, the fear that you are not guaranteed, is the fuel for long-term desire. It keeps the spark alive. It makes her appreciate the time you do give her because she knows it isn't free. Don't be a fan. Be a partner. Partners are equals. Fans are in the audience. Don't be in her audience. Be the star of your own show and let her be your co-star. That is the only dynamic that lasts. Gentlemen, hiding these 5 things isn't about manipulation. It is about self-mastery. It takes discipline to hold your tongue when you are scared. It takes discipline to act confident when you doubt yourself. But that discipline is the price of admission for leadership. Your woman doesn't need you to be her emotional twin. She needs you to be her anchor. Be the rock. Be the mystery. Be the man who leads. If you do this, you won't have to ask for her respect. You will command it effortlessly. If you are ready to master yourself, comment, "I am the rock," down below. Subscribe for more wisdom. I'll see you in the next one.